Hello, hello, ladies. It is Coach Steph. Trying to make sure I'm live. All right. Live in action. What's up, ladies? If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and let me know that you're watching. I would love to know. I'm going to be talking about people pleasing and how people pleasing is keeping you from your results. It's going to be a little spicy today, y'all. I got my notes here. So I was doing a little research on this topic, and it's gonna be a little spicy. I don't know if it's gonna be exactly what you expected, but you might learn something. So if you do watch the replay, hashtag replay, and let me know if you do learn something, or if something that I say here tags you and you're like, ooh, that's me. Because I think there's some really interesting stuff here that maybe you may not have realized. But if you are watching live, I see 4 people on. Say hello and let me know that you're watching. If you are new to me, because we have had several people come into the group, my name is Coach Steph. I'm a registered dietitian, worked clinical for years. I am a personal trainer, and I am a mindset transformation coach. And so I really help my clients to go from confused to confident in their nutrition, but also really build a new identity. So no more thinking of yourself as inconsistent or unmotivated or lazy or just not beautiful, right? Like loving your body all the way to your results, right? Like not waiting until a certain scale weight to feel confident or to feel beautiful. So it's a whole like transformation really from the inside out. I love my job. I'm just going to jump right off the bat and say one-on-one coaching is open. So if you have been wanting to work with me this week only, typically my program is 16 weeks, and I'll actually be I'll be doing 20 weeks. If you book a call before Saturday, you can get 20 weeks for the same price as the 16 weeks that I normally do, which is what y'all picked, right? I asked in the group what y'all wanted for the promo, and that's what y'all picked. So that is for this week only. So I do have a link that you can book a call, and we can talk more about the decision to move forward with coaching or not. Like we can see if it's a good fit for both of us. Because I really like to coach women who are intentional, who want to work on the mindset, and who want this to be a lifestyle. So it has to be a good fit on both ends, okay? So welcome everybody. What's up, Leilani? Leilani is one of my clients. I'm glad that you're watching. Hey Tina, hi Demina. What's up, ladies? Again, if y'all are watching, say hello. We're going to be talking about people pleasing. So if you are watching this, I'm assuming that you feel like you're a people pleaser. So as I'm talking, you guys can tell me how this has affected your health journey. How has being a people pleaser affected your health journey? So these are some of the ways that you can identify if you are a people pleaser. So I have my notes here, and I was writing so fast. I was like furiously writing because I don't know, I was just so interested in what I was writing. I was like trying to get it all down. So hopefully I can read all of my handwriting. But one way that you know that you're a people pleaser, you feel like you need to fix it, right? Like you're Miss Fix It. So if somebody has a problem, if your kids have an issue, your husband has an issue, your mom has an issue, your coworker has a problem, right? There's something you need to be you're volunteering to fix the thing, right? Even though no one has asked, sometimes, right? No one's asked. Sometimes because you volunteer so much, people are like, oh yeah, she'll do it, right? Or they'll ask you to do extra tasks, right? So it might look like you wanting everyone to be happy all the time, right? And you don't like it when people get upset with you, or if something is not approved by someone or validated by someone, right? You may do something and you may feel like you want that recognition. So that's another one, is like you may feel a little bit slighted if you don't get recognition for going overboard or for doing more, even though you obligated yourself to do more. So I see this a lot of with my clients who have kind of high profile positions at work. and they will designate themselves, right, to say, okay, this project is due on Friday, but I'm going to get it done on Thursday, so that they can get that pat on the back, right? And so what happens is, because you have taken on extra responsibility, and typically this isn't just in one area of your life. If you're like this, you're probably like this in all the areas. So think about like your family and your home life. Think about your career. Think about your health journey. Think about like your parenting, all the hats that you wear in your life. Likely you're taking on all these extra responsibilities in all these different areas of your life. And so then it becomes too much, and that's why you feel so overwhelmed, because at work your project isn't due until Friday, but you're struggling trying to get it in on Thursday and make it absolutely perfect with no mistakes, with no room for error or judgment, trying to make it pristine, right? So that you can get either that pat on the back, that validation, and you're doing that in all areas, right? So y'all let me know if this is resonating. Hi, Merelda. This is also my new client. Super excited to work with you and to start. What's our next call? Is on tomorrow, I think. Today's Wednesday. My days have been all off, but I know I'll be talking to you soon, and I'm super excited. Sharonda, hello. All right. Hey, ladies. Yes, tomorrow. All right, y'all. So, number one. So just to recap. So you might feel like you need to fix everything, right? You want everyone to be happy. If this is hitting anybody, y'all let me know. Saying yes to these extra tasks at work and at home, right? Volunteering to turn in things before the deadline. Feeling slighted when you don't get the praise or recognition. You need the gold star for people to like be like, yeah, you did the good thing, right? Trying to do things with no mistakes, perfection every time. If you make a mistake, you feel like you failed, or just holding yourself to this unrealistic standard. And all of this is important to your health journey because, number one, you're probably doing the same thing in your health journey. And number two, that all of that extra doing is taking up mental time and actual time from you taking care of your body, right? So I have lots of clients who are so dedicated to their job that they feel like they can't even eat lunch. So you're working this job and you don't have time to eat breakfast, you don't have time to eat lunch, and by the time you come home for dinner, you're so tired you don't want to eat then either, right? Like, that's overkill. It's too much, right? And so we want to make sure that we're setting these boundaries up front, right? It's hard to allow people to misuse your kindness and then pull it back and be like, no, don't do that. Like, up front, right? It's better to do that up front if possible, because then people know, okay, Stephanie don't play. Like, this is her time. She's eating lunch right now. We'll come back in 30 minutes, right? So another telltale sign, defining your worth by your performance. This was a big one. So this is what I wrote down in terms of my journey with people pleasing, just from being a college athlete. And ever since, I think I started playing basketball in like 5th grade. And so if you know anything about sports, it's like, okay, what are your stats? Like, how many points are you scoring? How many, blocks or assists or rebounds, right? And everything is very external. You get the trophy if you get the most points, if you were the best player, right? And so everything is about external validation. And so defining your worth by your performance. So it's not so much that you don't know how to say no to people, to set boundaries around your time so that you can get to the gym. It's that you're defining your worth as a human being by your performance for other people. And when other people are dissatisfied with your performance, you feel like it is a knock on you personally, right? So this is how all of this kind of weaves into your health journey. So what I realized as being that athlete who was always, you know, one of the best players on the team, getting the MVP, the trophy, all the things, as I grew up, finished college, I realized at like 23 or 24, I had no idea who I actually was. I had no idea what I liked to do besides sports. I had no idea what I disliked, what my values were, what my boundaries were, because I focused so much on doing, so that other people can give me that validation, that I actually had no idea who I actually was. Is anybody resonating with this? Right? Like if you ask yourself, what do I like? Right? Or what do I do on the weekends for fun? How do I take care of my mindset? How do I handle stress? How do I take care of my self-care? Right? What are my values in life and my boundaries? If you don't know those answers, right? It's like, oh, I don't know who I actually am because I'm so busy trying to present this perfect front for everyone else to make everyone else happy, and I don't even know who I am. And so if I don't know who I am, it's really hard for me to work towards my highest and best self, right? My CEO self or my 2.0 self, if my baseline, I don't even know where I'm starting from, right? And here's the kicker. Is that when you are a people pleaser, right? You don't know who you are because you're presenting the side of yourself that everyone else thinks you should be or is pleased with. You think they don't even like you for who you are, right? People pleasers, typically people like people pleasers, but really they don't like people pleasers. Do you know why? Because they don't really know you, because you don't know you, right? You don't know you, they don't know you, and they like the version of you that you presented, but all of that is fake. Right? Is this making sense? Like I told you, this is going to be a little spicy. I put in a comment and I was like, yeah, this is going to be a little bit spicy. It's like, oh, these people don't even really like me for me because I'm not even being myself. Right? I'm not even being myself. I'm being someone who they think, or I think that they want me to be. Right? Is this making sense? Right? Y'all let me know what you're thinking about this. Okay? So, some of the ways that you can identify if you're a people pleaser. Let me recap real quick. Feeling like you need to fix everything. Wanting everybody else to be happy. Unable to say no to extra tasks at work or at home. Volunteering for extra duties or finishing before the deadline. Feeling slighted if you don't get the praise or the gold star or the pat on the back for doing something that you obligated yourself to do. Wanting to never make mistakes and do it to perfection. Defining your worth by your performance and not really then knowing who you are. Is any of that resonating? Tina says makes sense. Merelda said, wow, this is good. Did you finish your comment or did you mean, wow, this is good? Let me know. And when you stop, they get mad. Yes, like that's why you can't start off a relationship like that. And so sometimes we're already in a relationship, right? Like we've been living a long time. Sometimes we're already in these relationships. So we'll talk about how to disentangle yourself from that identity so that you can be okay with your boundaries. Then you can present that boundary to other people and then allow them to be okay with your boundaries. Yeah, okay, I got you, Marella. So this is, this whole thing, and I say this to my clients a lot, is like, this is about you versus you. This is about you and your relationship with you and how your relationship with you is mirrored by other people, circumstances, experiences. This is all about you. So that's why you can't fix somebody else. Like if you have a relationship that's kind of codependent and y'all are like people pleasing, there's nothing that you can do about the other person. The only thing you can do is ask yourself, how do I want to show up? How can I be different? How am I contributing to my own pain? Because being a people pleaser doesn't feel good, right? To have people ask of your energy and your time, and you're giving, and you feel like you don't have enough time to fill your own cup, that doesn't feel good. But you keep doing it, right? So then it's like, why? Why do I keep doing that? And what benefit am I getting out of continuing this? And that's just like a real conversation with yourself. Like, what benefit am I getting by being a participant in this? Because you're getting some benefit, right? And being really honest with yourself about that. So as I was doing my research, just looking up, like, why do people tend to continue to do that when ultimately, big picture, it's not really making you happy? And what I found was some of it can stem from being insecure and having low self-esteem. So if you have a low self-worth, your value, you only feel valuable when you're doing something for somebody, right? Like putting a lot of your value, like I mentioned earlier, into doing something, producing something. And if you rest, if you take a break, if you make a mistake, then it means something about who you are. You just don't feel right resting, right? Those may be some of the reasons why you're showing up in that way. It can also be too, like, just learned behaviors. A lot of times, like, we saw our mothers be the people pleaser and doing everything for everybody all the time, to where she didn't either have the energy to eat, or, she's constantly putting herself on the back burner. And you kind of just learn to be that way too. But I think I posted something earlier just about, like, taking radical responsibility for your life as it is right now, right? So your health, your weight, your career, your entire life, right? Like, there are things that happen to us that we didn't have a choice in. And those things may or may not have been fair or unfair, right? Like, life happens. So some of that is not your fault, but it 100% is your responsibility. If you don't like something in your life, right? If you're not happy with where you are in your health journey, it is up to you to fix it, because no one is going to care more than you about you. No one's going to love you more than you can love you, because you can't even accept other people's love a lot of times if you don't really love yourself, if you don't really love your own body, if you can't even adhere to your own boundaries, right? If you don't adhere to your own boundaries when you say, I'm going to take a 30-minute break, but you're still checking emails and let people, pop up and do an impromptu meeting right in the middle of your lunch, to where you can't feed your body on a daily basis, then you're not adhering to your own boundaries, which is why no one else does, right? So my question to you to kind of think about is, like, what's the worst that could happen if you just said no, right? What's the worst that could happen if you leave things undone, or you don't get it in, super early, or you don't overextend yourself? Like, what's the worst that could happen? So a lot of that is fear, and, like, consciously we might say, well, nothing's going to happen, or, it'll be fine. But the way that we actually act and show up in a lot of time is as if there are dire consequences, right? And so we feel like we can't say no to certain tasks, extra tasks at work. When we see other people saying no, we see other people not necessarily working at the top of their game, right? But for whatever reason, we feel like we always have to be the one to either fix it or be the best or be without spot and blemish, and you don't, right? Can you give yourself permission to, especially if you're really serious about working on your health and you're like, hey, in this season, I can't take any more additional tasks. In this season, I'm really prioritizing myself, and I'm protecting my time that I have set aside to meal prep, that I have set aside to eat lunch and feed my body, that I have set aside to go and exercise. I'm really protecting that time, right? I promise you nothing is going to happen. You will be okay if you start to set boundaries, okay? And what happens is you actually give other people the opportunity to deal with their own feelings. What happens is we want to buffer, right? So here's a person, here you are, and you have to set a boundary, And if you feel like if you set this boundary, it's going to hurt this person's feelings, or they may have to take on more work or whatever, but you buffer, you're like, okay, well, let me take care of it so that this person doesn't have to deal with the consequences. And they never do. You absorb the blow and you take it on yourself. You do the thing at the detriment of you being able to take care of your body better, right? And then that person never actually gets to deal with their own feelings, right? So I've heard in different groups, people say like the woman might, let's say the wife is like getting in shape and the husband really isn't on board. He's kind of jealous. He doesn't want her to go to the gym. And it's like, okay, what do you want? At the end of the day, if you're doing something to better yourself and someone who says they love you isn't on board, that's a problem, right? And what do you want? If you want to continue to go to the gym and you want to live a healthier lifestyle, you continuing to protect, in this case, your husband from, and maybe not going to the gym and protect him from those feelings, then he never gets to ask himself, oh, well, why is it that I don't want my wife to go, right? Like he never gets to work through those feelings. And so you're actually doing him a disservice. You're actually doing him a disservice because he's not actually able to grow up in the areas that he needs to grow up in, right? And so just a few things that we can kind of do to mitigate being a people pleaser, okay? I'm gonna check the chat real quick again. Let me see if there's anybody. Okay, Maroda says, you're definitely speaking about me. Yes. Makes sense. Yes. Okay. Just wanted to make sure y'all still with me. So one of the things that you can do is make some like value rules, set some boundaries with yourself. So here's the thing. If you are okay with your boundaries, you feel good about your boundaries, you're okay with your boundaries, and you don't mind setting them, it's not a problem. Sometimes we think that boundaries are going to come with conflict, that boundaries are mean, that being like putting our own happiness and our health first is selfish. But intellectually, we know it's not. But when it comes to like the time to actually protect that time, we start to feel kind of bad and guilty for some reason. So you have to get really clear on your own boundaries. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel in my life? How do I want to feel when I'm around loved ones? How do I want to feel in my health journey? Right? And then make a list. I'm really big on writing stuff down. Make a list of how you want to feel and how you want to live your life. And anything that is not in alignment with that is contradictory to the rules that you set up. We only got one life to live, y'all. Anything that's contradictory has to go. Like, and it might not be immediate, right? Like maybe you say, you know what, this job is like soul sucking. You may not be able to literally get out of your job today, but like set the intention that actually this job isn't giving me what I want because it's not making me feel the way that I want to feel, right? I don't want to feel drained every day. And I know that I can't get out of some of the responsibilities that I have. So like literally setting the intention, letting God, the universe know that, oh, this is not what I want anymore. Like you have to make sure that you're really clear on that. Like you have to set the intention, like this isn't what I want anymore. You may intellectually or like subconsciously know that, but like literally saying like, I want a new job where I can thrive and feel like I have energy and like I can contribute and I can be happy. You have to be really clear about that. Okay. So set your boundaries. Okay. Decide how you want to feel. Anything else is a no. Right. So you can make those value statements and make those boundaries ahead of time. And kind of have some canned statements. So like say someone asks you to do something and you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that, or I don't have the capacity to do that. Instead of saying just, oh yeah, sure. right? Pause. Some people, sometimes we're so uncomfortable with silence, and sometimes I have to tell my clients on a call when I ask them something and they immediately keep going into an answer, and I can tell that they're trying to give me an answer from here. I'm like, okay, listen, silence is okay. Pause. When I ask you, I really want you to feel how it feels in your body. So sometimes if someone asks you something and you're like, ooh, it's okay to take a pause and really think about it and really think about how that just shifted your energy, right? And you can say, you know what, let me get back to you on that, right? I'll get back to you on that. And you can get back to them and say, you know what, I thought about it. And right now, I don't have the capacity to do that. And be 100, like have your own back, right? So you can develop a whole list of canned statements that you can say so that you're not, fumbling over your words in the moment trying to figure out what to say, but that aren't just no. And no is also a complete sentence, y'all. So you could just say, actually, no, or no, thank you, right? So stop and evaluate how you really feel. You can have some canned statements like, let me get back to you, or actually, I don't have the capacity for that, right? Start with your small no's, okay? So this could be something like if a waitress asks you, oh, do you want some more sweet tea? You could say, no, thank you. Or you could say, can I have a water instead? Right? So start finding ways that you can delegate or delete these extra things from your life, or these things that don't serve your goals, and you're just saying yes to the sweet tea because somebody asked you and you don't want to be rude, right? Start with your small no's and finding more ways that you can do less, because a lot of times as perfectionists, we always try to do more. Yes, Andrea, pause. Silence is okay. It's okay to take a minute and actually feel in your body. Our emotions are messages. Are you listening to the message? Right? A lot of times when we don't stop and listen to our emotions and we keep stuffing it down, we keep smothering those emotions, we try to bury these emotions, they come out in different ways. Right? With you exploding at somebody doing the smallest thing, it's because you've been trying to cover it up, and it's not going to die. It's not going to die. What you resist will persist. It's not going to go away. So address it head on, and then feel proud of yourself. Really have your own back for listening to your own emotions. And here's the thing too, and this is another thing that I used to tell my daughter all the time, is you don't have to have a good reason either. Say someone makes you feel uncomfortable at the gym, right? Or anywhere. But you don't really know why, right? You have to protect your energy, and it doesn't matter that you can't really articulate why this person bothers your energy or your spirit. Listen to that, because that's a real thing. Your emotions are messages. So you don't have to have a good reason. You could just say no, okay? So start with your small no's to the waitress, to different invites that you don't want to do. Somebody pops up, let's go to happy hour, and this is supposed to be your workout time. No, thank you. Right? Door-to-door salesman trying to sell you something that you know that you won't use. Right? Or maybe you're on your way out the gym. This happens to me all the time because it hailed here a few weeks ago, and the roofers are everybody's getting their roof redone, and they keep knocking on my door, and I just don't even answer the door. I'm just and then sometimes they'll catch me. I was on my way to the gym, and I'm look, I can't talk right now because I'm on my way to the gym, and I know that they're gonna sit here and talk. Oh, let me go up on top of your roof and see. Look, no, thank you. Right? It's a complete sentence. No, thank you. Right? And so instead of saying I can't, right? So instead of saying oh, I can't do that right now. I can't. Say I don't. I actually don't want to go. I don't want to do that, right? Y'all, I started doing this about a year ago. I feel so much happier. I'm going to tell you right now. I stopped doing stuff that I don't want to do. A lot of times, us perfectionists and people pleasers, or we might have a lot of social anxiety, like being around people, being around a whole bunch of people, and that's me. And like I'm very talkative, right? I'm friendly, I'm a cool person, but I don't necessarily like to be like around a whole bunch of people. Like, and if I do, like, I need to be able to leave, like, when I feel like I need to leave. And so sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm not coming. Like, I no, I'm not coming because I don't want to. And that's not rude. It's not rude. It's just like, I just don't want to. Right? You have to get real comfortable with your own boundaries, real comfortable with your own values. So protect your energy from toxic people and toxic situations. So sometimes we running around here trying to please everybody. We have all this negative energy because we're trying to people please people that we don't even want to fool with, really, so listen to that and protect your energy, protect your time, especially around your health journey, around your health behaviors. The way that you're going to get to your health results is by time, whether it's planning, whether it's doing your exercises, taking a walk, planning your meal or making your meal prep. You gotta protect your time, right? And then when you have the time, you gotta have the energy, right? Because sometimes we have the time, but we don't have the energy. Why? Because we gave it away to everybody else. You can't be giving away all of your energy to everybody else and then wonder why you're too tired to do your workout when you come home in the afternoon. You gave it away. Don't give all of it away. Save some of it for you, which is why I have my clients do a power hour in the morning. Set your intentions in the morning. Habits of successful people. I actually have it on my vision board. Habits of successful women. You master your first hour of the morning. You set your powerful intentions of how you want to show up today, right? Without apology. So this is another tip. Like, stop apologizing because you can't make it or because you don't want to come. I get invited to graduations and stuff. Listen, I'm the cousin that I am so happy that you graduated. I'm one of, a few of our cousins and stuff that graduate from college, and I'm all about supporting the young people. But for most of the time, I'm not coming to the graduation, but I will send you $100. That's me. Even if I don't talk to you. If you invite me to the graduation, I'm not coming, but I will cash out you $100. That's it. Right? That's just me. I don't want to go to the graduation, but you get the money, right? And maybe I'll see you at dinner afterwards or something. So protect yourself and your peace without apology, and then validate yourself. So that same validation that you're actually looking for from other people, the pat on the back, the gold star for doing all the extra stuff, if you actually gave that validation to yourself every day through either affirmations, through just practicing gratitude, just working on your mindset every day, just pouring into yourself, if you gave yourself that, you wouldn't need all of that from everyone else. So what you were lacking in yourself, you're actually trying to get from other people. But it comes at a cost because it comes at, you have to perform in order to get that, right? But if you practice being the person that can give the validation and being the validation itself, then you don't have to perform, you can just be. Right? Like, you can just be worthy enough, mistakes and all. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to, kill yourself at the gym. Maybe you missed a day, going to the gym. I'm still worthy. I'm still validated. Right? If you give yourself that validation, then you don't need the validation of other people. Y'all let me know if this is making sense. Merelda says she loves it. Yes. I say no and then feel bad, overthinking if I made the right decision. Yes, yes, yes. And here's the thing. When we talk about setting boundaries, just because it's hard doesn't mean we're doing it wrong. Sometimes we feel like, oh, if it felt uncomfortable or if I kind of felt like, ooh, that we did it wrong. No. It just means that maybe setting boundaries is a little bit uncomfortable. But how can I get comfortable with that uncomfortableness, and just sit with that? Be like, man, I really didn't want to extend myself in this way because right now I'm focusing on my health journey, and I said no. And deciding to spend your mental energy on having your own back and saying, you know what, I'm really proud of myself that I didn't overextend myself during this time, because I'm really working on setting commitments to myself in my health journey. And that part also, it builds self-esteem. A lot of my ladies, they want to be more confident. Well, guess what? Confidence comes from trusting yourself. Confidence comes from setting a plan and executing that plan. That building that self-trust also builds up your self-esteem, which gets to the confidence, right? You can't keep setting a plan to work out 3 or 4 times a week, to hit your water goal, and to eat more veggies, and you stop doing that because other people are demanding your attention. Of course you don't trust yourself to be consistent, right? Of course you don't feel motivated, right? Because you're giving your best to somebody else, right? You got to give your best to you. How are you giving your best to yourself? That's a great question that we can end on today. Like, each day, how are you giving your best to yourself? Really think about that and let that silence marinate for a second. How are you giving your best to yourself every day? Or are you giving it away to somebody else every single day? And we wonder why we're so exhausted. Because sometimes we're not exhausted from doing too much. We're exhausted from doing too little of the things that actually fill our cup, that actually, set our soul on fire, that actually excite us. We're doing too little of that. How can you find that fire, right? How can you build your fitness and health goals from that energy versus the energy of lack, scarcity, self-loathing, not wanting to look in the mirror? It's really hard to build a body that you love from thinking that you hate your body. Right? Y'all let me know if this makes sense. I feel like I just went to church. Okay? I feel like this is good. If I have to say so myself. All right? Let me just look through my notes. Y'all let me know in the comments while I'm reading these. If this makes sense, what resonated with you the most, let me know. Especially if you're watching the replay, you have a little bit more time. Let me know. I think I said everything I wanted to say. This was, let me tell you, this was good. I thought it was good. You thought it was good, Damina? Yes. I thought it was great. It's just like, and I think the last thing I'll say too, I read this somewhere. And this right here is real spicy. This is real spicy, so just buckle up. So I read this and it kind of surprised me. And it said, people pleasers are manipulative. And I was like, ooh, like people pleaser. So the context of the article was about people pleasing is, like I said before, you putting forth, what you think is appeasing to other people, hoping for the response of, validation or being happy. We think, right, that we're doing it out of love for other people and it's selfless, but it might actually be more selfish than just setting boundaries, because it's kind of like we are doing things just so we can get a certain response from other people, whether it's authentic or not, right? And we're like presenting this facade, this fake happiness, like, oh, we're just so happy to serve, when we're really exhausted and resentful, right? We start getting resentful, especially if we don't get the validation that we were looking for. Get a little resentful and start getting a little angry. And then we're mad because, we're not making progress in our health goals, but it's because we're not prioritizing it, right? And so it's like the article was saying, like, it's manipulative because you're presenting this facade and wanting that response. So it's almost like playing like a puppeteer and trying to get a certain response to make you feel good, right? Because it feels good for other people to give you the validation that you were wanting, right? It feels good for people to say, oh yeah, you did a good job, or thank you so much, or I appreciate you. It's like you need that validation so much that you're presenting something that is inauthentic so that you can get that validation and that pat on the back that you maybe won't give to yourself. So do you see how that can be a little bit manipulative, to where whether it's authentic or not, you're presenting something that you think might be presentable or appeasing or a high expectation or perfection to somebody else. Y'all, let me know if that makes sense. I know that was a wow, but it makes sense. Yes, okay. I'll have to look at the replay because I missed a girl. You missed a lot to want to make sure. Trust me, you want to go back and read and watch this. This was really good. If I do say so myself. You definitely did go to church. Yes. Everything you're saying is true, and saying things I've never considered when saying yes, especially when it comes to children, adults. Yeah, it makes sense. Yes, trust me. Go back and watch this over again. So it's like, wow, you thought, right? You thought that you were being selfless when actually it's actually more selfish than just setting boundaries in the first place. So set the boundaries. If I say no and I mean it, and I'm like, no, thank you, I'm not going to the happy hour because I already decided that I was going to go do my workout. That's showing myself self-love. That's being authentic with the person that I'm conversing with, right? I allow them the opportunity to deal with their own feelings about me saying no, and that can be loving, right? Like that can actually be a loving thing to do, to allow a person to go through their own process and deal with their own feelings instead of always trying to protect them from being disappointed, right? So I hope that you can see from this, like, thinking about people pleasing in a little bit different way, that like, oh, actually, if I'm just authentic and true to my own emotions, that's actually more loving. It's actually, a better way to show up in my relationships, and people will respect you more for that. That's what happens when you start setting boundaries. People start respecting you instead of thinking that they can just dump all their stuff on you. Okay. Check the chat one more time. I have to watch. Yes, Missy, listen, you missed a good talk for real. Like, definitely go back and watch. My mom says, I don't know how to say no. Yes, and so here's the thing. So that right there, if you said to yourself, Tawana, I don't know how to say no, that's an affirmation. It's a learned behavior, and you can unlearn that. So when you start saying that to yourself, I don't know how to say no, or feeling that resistance to saying no, remember the pause. Pause and just say, like, okay, what am I actually feeling? Do I really want to do this when I really know I don't want to? And just say, no, thank you. Every time you say no, like an authentic no to someone, when you are protecting yourself, you're saying yes to yourself. So don't even think of it as a no. It's actually a yes to yourself. Like, how can you say yes to yourself more often? How can you own your power and take back your power more often? How can you give yourself the best every day, right? At least a little bit. And don't just give it all away every time, right? So true. When we protect, we actually set them up for failure. Yes. And now nobody's being authentic with their feelings, right? I've had a client before who had her mom and her sister, kind of manipulative, but she would always, appease them, and they didn't even really know who she really was because she didn't let them know that. And then there's a lot of anger and resentment. It was like, who are you angry and resentful towards? You can only do that with yourself because you allowed that to happen. So that's how we take radical responsibility for our own condition in life. And that includes our health journey. So that's all I have for you guys today. I am so glad that y'all watched this. I'm so glad that you came. If you did watch the replay, #replay, y'all let me know what you think about some of the things that I said. It was a little spicy, I know. I want to remind you that my coaching program is open one-on-one, me and you, for actually 20 weeks. You actually get 4 additional weeks for no additional charge. We talk about stuff like this. We talk about your boundaries. We get into that mindset. I help you to see, just like we talked about the people pleasing, see that a little bit different. Start to see yourself a little bit different, right? And up-level your identity. Step into that highest and best self so that you can have your results and be able to keep them. I saw somebody pop on. If you're the 8th viewer, listen, you missed a really good talk, and I need you to go back and watch this again because it was really good. All right, so if y'all enjoyed this, y'all let me know in the comments, and I will see y'all next week. I don't know what the topic will be on next week. If y'all have any ideas, you can let me know. But if you're wanting to sign up for coaching, I actually put it in the link. You can apply with the link in the description. So y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all soon, either in the group or on the live next week. All right, see you soon.